Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Breaking news, 11 Yu and Tian Ning's fairytale wedding stuns the world, a celebration of love, glamour, and unforgettable moments. The wait is finally over. After months of speculation, countless rumors, and endless anticipation, the wedding of the decade has officially taken place. Yu and Tian Ning, one of the most beloved couples in the entertainment industry, tied the knot in a grand ceremony that combined luxury, tradition, and raw emotion in a way that left fans and the media absolutely speechless. From the very first moment of guest arrivals to the magical finale under a sky lit with fireworks, the entire event felt less like an ordinary wedding and more like a once-in-a-lifetime spectacle. The venue, the fashion, the vows, the guest list, everything about the day screamed history in the making. The grand arrivals. The wedding day began with the kind of glamour that only celebrities of Yu and Tian Ning's status could command. By mid-morning, a stream of luxury cars had begun to line up outside the glass-domed wedding venue, each one carrying star-studded guests who added even more sparkle to an already glittering occasion. Fans who had gathered outside the heavily guarded entrance screamed with joy as their favorite stars stepped out of sleek Rolls-Royces, Lamborghinis, and Bentleys. Every arrival became a spectacle of its own. Renowned actors appeared in perfectly tailored tuxedos, leading actresses dazzled in gowns dripping with sequins and crystals, and musicians turned the red carpet walkway into a runway of elegance. Camera flashes illuminated the arrivals as reporters scrambled to capture every outfit, every smile, and every wave. Social media platforms were flooded within minutes. Hashtags related to the wedding began trending globally, with millions of fans glued to their screens, desperate for every detail. The groom's arrival. When Yu finally arrived, escorted by his groomsmen, the energy outside the venue shifted. Dressed in a custom black tuxedo embroidered with subtle gold detailing, he embodied both regal confidence and tender anticipation. Fans screamed his name as he waved briefly, his smile betraying both nerves and excitement. Inside, close friends described him as deeply emotional. He couldn't stop checking his watch, one insider revealed. He just kept saying, "I can't wait to see her walk down the aisle." The bride steals the spotlight. But if Yu's arrival raised the excitement, Tian Ning's entrance stopped the world. Arriving in a pearl-white limousine decorated with fresh orchids, the bride emerged in a gown that has already been called one of the most iconic in wedding history. Designed exclusively for her, the dress featured thousands of hand-sewn crystals that caught the sunlight with every movement. The flowing silk layers created the illusion that she was gliding rather than walking, and the delicate lace veil added a soft, ethereal glow to her already radiant beauty. As soon as she stepped out, fans screamed and cried openly. Reporters shouted for photos, and the internet nearly broke under the sheer flood of reactions. Within minutes, Tian Ning's wedding dress became the #1 trending topic worldwide. Her calm smile, her bouquet of peonies, and the love that shone in her eyes as she looked toward the venue made the moment feel like something out of a movie. The ceremony begins. As the last guests settled into their seats, the atmosphere inside the glass-domed venue shifted from excitement to quiet anticipation. The hall, decorated with cascading white orchids and roses, glowed under chandeliers that shimmered like starlight. Soft instrumental music filled the space, and a hush fell over the crowd as the ceremony was about to begin. At precisely noon, the groom, Yu, entered the hall. A wave of applause and admiration followed him as he walked confidently toward the altar, his every step reflecting both pride and deep emotion. His tuxedo, perfectly fitted and embroidered with golden accents, drew attention, but it was his expression that captured hearts. His eyes shimmered with a nervous anticipation, and guests whispered about how rare it was to see him this vulnerable. Minutes later, the room collectively held its breath. The music shifted to a softer, sweeter tune as the doors at the far end of the hall opened. The bride had arrived. Tian Ning appeared at the entrance, and in that instant, time seemed to stop. Gasps echoed across the hall as she began her walk down the aisle, her gown sparkling under the soft lights, her veil flowing like mist around her. Every step she took was accompanied by the soft sound of fans and guests wiping away tears. Yu, standing at the altar, visibly struggled to contain his emotions. His lips parted slightly, his eyes glassy as he whispered, almost inaudibly, "She's perfect." The vows. Once Tian Shu Ning reached the altar, she slipped her hand into Shi Yu's, and the ceremony began. The officiant welcomed the gathering, but all eyes were locked on the couple. Their chemistry, their gentle smiles, and the way their hands never let go spoke louder than any words. When it was time for the vows, the hall grew so silent that even the faint rustle of silk could be heard. Shi Yu went first. His voice trembled at the start, but grew stronger as he spoke from his heart. Shu Ning, from the moment you walked into my life, you became my light, my peace, and my reason to dream bigger than I ever thought possible. Today, I stand here not just as your husband, but as your partner, your protector, and your best friend. I promise to love you, to stand by you, and to cherish every moment we share, for the rest of my life. By the time he finished, guests were already wiping tears from their eyes. Then it was Tian Shu Ning's turn. Her voice was steady, but her eyes glistened as she looked into his. Shi Yu, people often say that love is a fairy tale, but for me, love became real the day I met you. You have been my strength in weakness, my laughter in sadness, and my home wherever we are. Today, I vow to walk beside you, to believe in you, to hold your hand in every storm and every sunshine. You are my heart, my forever. The hall erupted into soft applause, and even some of the celebrity guests couldn't hold back their emotions. Cameras captured the moment as the couple exchanged rings, their hands trembling slightly with excitement. When the officiant finally declared them husband and wife, the crowd rose to its feet. The kiss that followed wasn't just a formality, it was an explosion of love that drew cheers, applause, and even more tears from everyone in attendance. The celebration begins. As the ceremony ended, the newlyweds walked back down the aisle together, hand in hand, showered in a rain of rose petals. The sound of clapping and cheering filled the hall, and the joy on their faces was undeniable. Outside, fans who had been waiting for hours screamed with excitement as the news broke across media platforms worldwide. Hashtags like 11U Shuning Wedding, Wedding of the Year, and Eternal Love Story began trending within minutes. But the day was far from over. What followed was a reception that redefined luxury and celebration. The reception. After the ceremony, guests were ushered into the grand banquet hall, and what awaited them left even the most seasoned celebrities in awe. The reception hall was transformed into a wonderland of elegance and romance. Crystal chandeliers sparkled above, casting golden light onto tables draped in ivory silk. Each table centerpiece was a towering arrangement of fresh roses, orchids, and peonies, while the cutlery gleamed like polished silver. Soft candlelight flickered gently, creating an intimate yet luxurious atmosphere. At the far end of the hall stood the showpiece, a wedding cake so breathtaking it drew gasps from everyone. Standing at nearly 7 tiers, it was decorated with edible pearls, delicate sugar flowers, and hand-painted designs that mirrored the couple's initials intertwined. Guests applauded as the newlyweds made their grand entrance. Shi Yu, holding Tian Shu Ning's hand proudly, looked visibly overwhelmed as he scanned the crowd of cheering family, friends, and celebrities. Tian Shu Ning, now with her veil removed, dazzled in a second gown, a slimmer, sparkling dress that hugged her figure while allowing her to move with ease. Her smile, radiant and genuine, seemed to light up the entire room. Emotional speeches. The evening began with speeches from family and close friends. Shi Yu's best man took the stage first, delivering a heartfelt yet humorous speech that had the crowd laughing and wiping away tears in equal measure. I've seen Shi Yu nervous before big performances, before important events, he said, but I've never seen him as nervous as he was today. That's how much he loves you, Ning. Next was Tian Shu Ning's maid of honor, who spoke with her voice shaking from emotion. Ning, you once told me you wanted a love that felt like home. Watching you today, with him, I know you've found it. But the most touching moment came when Shi Yu himself took the microphone during dinner. He turned to face his new wife, his voice heavy with emotion. Standing here with you tonight, in front of everyone we love, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for choosing me, for believing in me, and for loving me the way you do. This us is the greatest blessing of my life. The hall erupted in applause, and Tian Shu Ning couldn't stop her tears as she leaned in to kiss him. The first dance. Moments later, the lights dimmed, and the couple took to the dance floor for their first dance as husband and wife. A soft spotlight fell on them as the music began, a slow, romantic ballad chosen by the couple themselves. Xiyu held Tian Shu Ning close, their movements graceful and tender. Guests watched in silence, many of them recording the magical moment on their phones, while others simply allowed themselves to be carried away by the beauty of it. Halfway through the song, the crowd cheered as Xiyu whispered something into Tian Shu Ning's ear that made her laugh through her tears. It was intimate, unscripted, and unforgettable. By the time the song ended, the hall roared with applause, and the couple bowed deeply to their guests, their smiles brighter than ever. A night of performances. The reception wasn't just about speeches and dances. In true celebrity fashion, it became a star-studded concert. Several close friends and industry icons performed live for the couple. One famous singer dedicated a romantic ballad to them, her voice filling the hall with emotion. Another artist performed an upbeat number that had everyone clapping and even dancing at their tables. But the surprise of the evening came when Xiyu himself took the stage. Known not only for his acting but also for his musical talent, he sang a song he had secretly written for Tian Shu Ning. The lyrics, filled with promises of love and devotion, had the entire hall on its feet, applauding wildly as he ended the performance by walking over and serenading her directly at their table. Tian Shu Ning was visibly moved, her hands covering her face as tears streamed down her cheeks. Guests described it as the most unforgettable moment of the night. Cutting the cake and toasts. Later, the couple stood before the towering wedding cake. With their hands clasped together around the silver knife, they cut the first slice as the crowd cheered. Glasses of champagne were raised high as family and friends toasted to their future. The atmosphere was pure joy. Laughter echoed, clinking glasses rang out, and the hall was filled with warmth and celebration. The after-party. If the ceremony and reception were magical, the after-party was nothing short of legendary. As the dinner wound down and the official program concluded, the atmosphere shifted from elegance to unrestrained celebration. The chandeliers dimmed slightly, neon lights lit up the hall, and the DJ took over the stage, signaling that the night had only just begun. Xiyu and Tian Shu Ning reappeared after a brief outfit change. He wore a sleek velvet suit in midnight blue, while she stunned in a shimmering champagne-colored dress that sparkled under the lights. Their entrance was met with cheers as they headed straight to the dance floor, pulling their closest friends with them. The energy was electric. Celebrities, family members, and even industry veterans let loose, dancing side by side. Videos quickly flooded social media, with fans in awe of seeing some of the biggest names in entertainment enjoying themselves like ordinary guests at a friend's wedding. Fireworks and romance. Just when guests thought the evening couldn't get any better, the couple led everyone outside to the open-air garden adjoining the hall. The night sky was clear, and the cool breeze carried a sense of anticipation. Suddenly, the first firework shot into the sky, bursting into a cascade of golden light. The crowd gasped as the display grew more elaborate, with vibrant reds, blues, and silvers painting the heavens. But the most breathtaking moment came when the fireworks formed the initials X Red Heart #N, glowing brightly against the dark sky. Guests cheered, and fans watching from outside the barricades screamed with excitement. Social media exploded with clips of the fireworks, with fans calling it the most romantic finale in wedding history. As the fireworks continued, Xiyu pulled Tian Shu Ning close, wrapping his arm around her shoulders. Cameras captured the intimate moment as she leaned into him, her face glowing with happiness. Fans outside the venue. While the couple and their guests celebrated inside, thousands of fans who had gathered outside the venue created their own celebration. Large screens were set up for them to catch glimpses of the wedding, and when the fireworks lit up the sky, fans waved light sticks, banners, and even sang songs dedicated to the couple. Some fans were interviewed by reporters. "We've supported them since the beginning," one fan sobbed. "Seeing them finally married is like a dream come true for us too." Another said, "This isn't just their wedding, it feels like a wedding we're all part of." The love and support outside matched the joy within, proving just how deeply this couple had touched people's lives. Global reaction. Within minutes of the after-party beginning, international media outlets began publishing stories. Photos of the bride and groom flooded magazines and websites, while clips of the vows and first dance dominated trending charts across Asia and beyond. Hashtags like #11U Wedding, #Wedding of the Year, and #Eternal Love Story topped global platforms, amassing millions of posts. Fans from different countries shared edits, artwork, and heartfelt messages celebrating the union. Even celebrities who couldn't attend the wedding took to social media to congratulate the couple, calling their wedding an event that raised the standard for love and celebration. Closing moments. As the night drew to a close, the couple stood hand in hand at the garden entrance, personally thanking guests as they left. Their faces glowed with exhaustion, joy, and a love that was impossible to miss. Before disappearing into their car, Xiyu waved one last time to the cheering fans outside, while Ning blew a kiss, her eyes sparkling with tears of gratitude. The car drove away slowly, escorted by security, leaving behind a night that will be remembered for decades. Final words. The wedding of Xiyu and Ning wasn't just a union of two people. It was a celebration of love that transcended boundaries, captivated millions, and set a new standard for what a celebrity wedding could be. From the heartfelt vows to the glamorous reception, from the dazzling fireworks to the overwhelming fan support, every detail of the day felt like a chapter out of a fairy tale. For fans, for friends, and for the couple themselves, this wedding was not simply the end of a long journey, it was the beginning of a forever story.